Hi, everybody. It's Josh with Talk About Trek, and we are back again for another exciting episode of Warp Tuesday, your one and only source for all the Trek news that I feel like talking about today. It's going to be very fascinating, and it will be insufficient as well, because the world of Trek news is wonderful, as Quirk is showing you right there. Um, Anyway, we actually do have a bit of Trek news that's exciting for me. I got an email from the Neutral Zone Studios, and we are soon to begin filming our Star Trek fan film that I, helped fund or however you put it. So, if you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, the Neutral Zone Studios used to have a set down in Georgia, and they have recently moved to my backyard here in Sandusky, Ohio. And as you can see, they have all these wonderful fan films that they've done. But just today, they posted a little bit of an update video here. And I'll just kind of skim through, but you can see how things are kind of looking here. So you've got the nice corridor here going on. Check this out. You've got a look at that panel. Woo. Anyway, I'm not gonna watch the whole thing right now. I'll watch it probably later. Very excited just to kind of see where they're at and what the kind of the status of it is. And I think they'll be kind of talking about probably exactly when it will be completed and future plans and projects and that sort of thing. So very excited to be a part of that and to be hopefully appearing someday soon in a Star Trek fan film. So, and honestly, just to go to the set and hang out is going to be great. So, if you haven't already, you can support the Neutral Zone Studios. Give them a subscribe. I'll try to remember to put their link down in the comment section below here. But yeah, I'm very excited because again, I get to go play on the bridge of the Enterprise. Well, I'm not going to play, obviously. I'm going to be a very serious actor, right? And very seriously press buttons or pull a lever or just die, whatever I have to do. I don't care. I'm looking forward to, again, just being a part of it. It's going to be fantastic. So that's going to be great. And again, support them. And if you're interested, you can be a part of their thing too. So lots of very fun stuff going on there. But is there anything else going on in the world of Star Trek today? Before we move on to the wide world of Star Trek, let's look at the world of Star Trek that I'm living in here. And as you can see behind me, I'm living in a wonderful world of Star Trek. And I do have some future plans. Check this out. We got this tapestry that looks like space. Look at this. Big space tapestry that's going to go up on the ceiling here to replace my my posters that are kind of hanging down and everything that's very ratty looking over there. And then my son had the great idea to hang some starships up there. So there's just a big changeover going there, and I'm thinking I would love to do a video, kind of like a before, like this is what we have now, and then an after, when the whole thing is finally at its final form, when it's reached its final form. It's never going to reach its final form, right? There will always be more. But seriously, I have to make room because I've got those Nacelle toy companies, the Nacelle toys coming. Nacelle company toys coming soon, and that's a lot. And if I'm going to get into this Lego Star Trek that's coming out, we need room. We need lots of room, right? But now, and also reading, Star Trek reading. Boom. Carmen Carter's The Devil's Heart. Oh yeah, that's right, Quark. That's how I feel too. So good so far. Hopefully we'll be back here before the end of the week to talk about that one. That one is good. Yes, Data. Very good. But let's kind of peruse the Trek news as it is here. So again, for all, for mostly when I'm looking at Trek news, I go to trekmovie.com. They seem to have, well, first off, they have a nice clean site. the Star Trek itself website, I don't like it. It's too there's too much going on there. It's too busy. But here, nice and clean. So let's see what people are talking about in the world of Star Trek here today. Of course, you got Puppet Pike, and I love the juxtaposition here of having Puppet Pike right over the headline of the Star Trek Strange New Worlds showrunners talking more serious season 4. Except, of course, for the puppet episode. But I agree. I think that it does need to be more serious, especially leading into the final season. But, you can also go away from, what makes Strange New Worlds fun is them kind of exploring all these crazy different things to do in these episodes, right? So, happy to hear that. But, it's also going to be the same, right? There's some news on here I'm pretty excited about. We'll get there. Look at this. First off, Star Trek Online. I dabbled in it. Gosh, what was it? Maybe 10 months ago? 9 months ago? I got into it. Yeah, maybe it was around Christmas time. And I actually had a little bit of fun with it. And this is kind of making me interested again. So I might jump in again to see what they got going on with this new season, which, clickety here, which is the, my God, I couldn't hardly believe this. I think they said it was the 34th season. The 34th season. Look at that. Wow, that's a lot going on. So anyway, they got a new season. They got Jerry Ryan. They got Jonathan Del Arco. And I'm just going to go ahead and say that he didn't die in Star Trek Picard. And he was resurrected with, Borg tech, right? Alright, so that's cool. That's Star Trek. Oh, check this out. I wore this especially for today. I put the Khan stuff on because I did listen to Khan episode 3 today, and it was excellent. I love all the additional lore that's being added to the Khan backstory by this little audio drama that they're putting on. And while I will say I'm disappointed that there is not, and I get it. You don't want to pay, don't want to pay the big Tuvok and Sulu bucks, right? I was hoping that they would be in it more, but it is about Khan, so it makes sense, right? They're just kind of there to frame out the story from their time to go back and show the logs and give you that Khan story. But the third one, very good. It gives a start into the beginning of the end, almost, you could say, right? But also just very interesting to get. Again, you get a different Khan, different perspective on Khan, not like the maniacal Khan you see in Wrath of Khan, right? So very cool. If you have not watched it, yes, you can watch it. You see this picture for 38 minutes, but you do listen to it because it is an audio drama. But listen to it. It's a fun thing to put on. Now here we go. This bit of news, and this isn't a bit of news, but I feel this is someone just reflecting what I often say and think, right? Which is that Star Trek needs to have longer seasons. They need to be able to build character relationships, build up characters, instead of having these short 10-episode seasons, right? And this was a quote by, Brannon Braga here. Okay. And we'll go ahead and just read it out. And this was from Star Trek Las Vegas. I look at this audience and I think you're here because you had a long-term relationship with Voyager. Voyager was 26 episodes a year. Some of you probably keep it on because it's cozy and that's the kind of relationship you had. Oh, does anybody else feel that way, right? Anytime I'm sitting down, I don't know what else to put on. 9 times out of 10, I'm throwing Voyager on. Anytime my kids walk through, they're probably like, oh my God, Voyager on again, Dad? Yes, Voyager's on again, kids. Because it is. It's very, very, there's something very cozy about it. A lot of shows now are Tinder relationships. 8 episodes every 2 years. I don't like that. That's not necessarily something you pass along to your kids. And I think that's a loss. It's a new paradigm, and some shows are still doing it. NCIS does like 22. So, yes, some are still out there doing these longer seasons. And why not Star Trek? It is obviously the format and the form that works best for them, in my opinion, right? So, go back to the longer seasons. Bye, bye, bye. Have some cake and eat it too. And live long and prosper. No, I'm not done yet. But, just for real, I felt that way for a while, and I felt that's what's lacking with Discovery. It was different, I think, with Lower Decks, because Lower Decks was a cartoon, also with Prodigy. And I don't know why that is, but it was different. And I think that the shorter seasons could work for the animated form, and that would be fine. But man, for the live action shows, build the sets, get your 22 to 26 episode seasons in there, and just build up this, whole story, right? That's what I'm saying. Anyway, final 2 pieces of news that we're going to cover here today from TrekMovie.com. And we're going to do this in reverse order, and I thought this was kind of interesting. I've only watched a tiny bit of Star Trek Scouts, but now, you know what? I think I'm going to watch a little bit more, because I'm thinking maybe there is a little bit something more to this. So, some people are connecting this character who goes by JR with a young Jack Ransom, right? From Star Trek Lower Decks. So it makes me want to watch it to kind of see what I think about this. And then I was also thinking, like, man, this show is so silly. Why are these kids fighting off flying meatballs? And I'm like, obviously they're on the holodeck, right? They got to be on the holodeck. And, I mean, there's going to be 20 episodes of this coming out. So, we'll see what kind of, maybe they'll throw a little bit of Star Trek lore into this for real, Who knows? But, final, very exciting thing to note, because anytime that you can get something Star Trek for free, anytime you can get anything for free, it's fantastic. But now you can get something Star Trek for free, very quality, right on YouTube, which is the Center Seat docu-series. And I've watched maybe just 1 or 2 of these, but you can now watch all 11 episodes on YouTube. And again, it is a huge series, so you can pick and choose what you want to watch. You can watch the whole thing in order, but the point is, it's out there now, and it's free, and you can check it out. And and this was from the 55-year anniversary, so 2021, not that long ago. And again, it's just going to give you a lot of very cool information. And this was made by the Nacelle Company. And man, the Nacelle Company, I tell you, they're knocking it out of the park with Star Trek stuff. I love it. Well, first off, their name, the Nacelle Company, right? I mean, come on. But then also, just really, like, they did the Star Trek. Well, they made the series, The Toys That Made Us, and there was a great episode about Star Trek toys on there. And then, of course, they're doing the Fantastic line, multiple lines, waves, even, of Star Trek figures, and they produce this great series. So obviously you have people there who are fans, not just there to make the money. They're there actually because they're fans, and they want to do fun stuff because they are fans, and I love that. That's what we need more of, right? So yeah, that is this Tuesday's Warp Tuesday Star Trek News Roundup. Final thing we want to show off here is this fantastic gift that I received from a friend. And I want to say to all of you out there, as I always do, my friends, live long and prosper, ×2. And we'll see you guys in the next one. You have a good night.